Bonjour everyone, I am Yann, your favorite friendly Frenchman, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Simple Park. Today we're finishing what we started last episode, which was the most compact kiddie coaster you have ever seen. If you've not seen this episode, well, you can still watch it on my channel and then come back to this one later. But before we go back to the coaster, I realized that the entrance building wasn't getting much love since the first episode, so I added a lost and found thing and also a toilet. It's not much, but it's done its work. And also at the beginning of the episode, I added this little planner so that it separates the two parts of the paths. This episode was also the point I realized that we didn't need any flat ride in the park because they kind of looked off in this park, even though it is a simple park and it is, well, simple. I don't think we need any flat ride for this park, so instead I went on to create our first shop. And this one is placed on the little room we had near the exit because we want people to buy our merch when they're happy and exiting the ride. And so that's why I placed the balloon shop, which will be Becky's Balloons. At the time, I didn't have the idea to call it Becky's Balloons, but it came up, last week? So yeah, it's gonna be Becky's Balloons in a few episodes, you'll see in a few weeks. But also what you can see is that I'm building everything or remaking everything inside the shop. The Planet Coaster brands, which for this one actually it's Looney Balloons, and you'll see I used the sign Looney Balloons because I didn't know it was going to be Becky's Balloons. But yeah, I don't really like, well, as creative as they are and as colorful as they are, I don't really like using the Planet Coaster brands that much because, well, they don't fit with my aesthetic, and especially with Simple Park. They don't really fit, and that's why I wanted to brainstorm around the idea of a name around balloons, and everything is it is, you know, like Becky's Balloons or I don't know, Jan's Yak. What? Anyway, the point is, everything is going to be an alliteration, or at least when I can. You know, for an alliteration, I don't know if you English folks know that, but in French, an alliteration is basically two words following each other, or several words following each other, which are starting with the same letter. For example, they're Becky's Balloons or Jan's Yak. Don't worry, we will not use Jan's Yak. It's just for the purpose of the video, and I don't know why I made that up. That's your friendly Frenchman madness here. But anyway, the point is I will try to do an alliteration or an assonance. There is ass in assonance. Anyway, an assonance is the same thing but with a vowel. So I will try to do one of each with, well, everything, but it's hard. It's hard to do for some words, so yeah. And usually when I do it, I try to shout out a member of the community, so you'll see as the series goes on, you'll see more and more friends of mine that are popping up in the series, in the park. Anyway, now that I've stopped monologuing about Jan's Yak and asses, which is a weird combination now that I think about it, but we're done for now at least with Becky's Balloons, and we're building this station, which is, you know, pretty simple. Let's make the joke. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty simple because I wanted to have something that wasn't enclosed. You know, usually when I rode kiddie or family coasters, they're not really enclosed. They're really open, even if they are under a shelter, under a building. They're still very open, and that's what I wanted to do with this one, and that's why I have this little shelter station thingy. But the problem with making this sort of station, this sort of very open station, is that you have to think about, you know, the weather, and if it rains, are people gonna be wet? And in my queue, they might be, yes, but if they are under this station shelter, then no, they won't be wet, and the staff won't be wet, so it's all fine. you'll realize that with this sort of station as well, you have to make a lot of beam work, and we love beams, and I don't know where I'm going with this sentence. Sometimes live commentary will be like that. Yeah, I love doing beamworks because they are, you have to think like an engineer, like an architect, and think, is this going to support this other beam and therefore the whole roof? And yeah, that's why I love doing beamwork. Did I say beamwork too much? I think I did. Is it getting weird? Are you... Is it weird for you to hear me talk about Jan's yak and asses and beamwork? That's not for me. I'm actually enjoying myself doing this right now. But anyway, I'm doing the fencing right now. Because, well, you have to do fencing if you're making a station and a queue. It's part of making things look realistic, and it's not only about fencing, it's about many things. It's about foliage, it's about things that may be overgrown if your park isn't maintained well, and of course it's a simple park, so why would it be? And numbers on the rows, which I'm doing right now, and animatronics guiding your guests to, I don't know, row number 7 or wherever. And making fences that are high enough so that the guests won't go above them or won't climb them, my bad, or reach through and touch the and have their arms ripped off. That's why people in the community call that don't die fencing, and yeah, fencing is just that. It's just things so that you don't die. So again, let's just call that fencing. I think I said that already in the latest episode, in episode 2. But let's not call that just don't die fencing, let's just call that fencing. Because usually when there's a fence, don't go above the fence, because otherwise you'll die. I don't know what's going on with these episodes, but gee, I'm getting madder and madder every time at every episode, and by the end of the episode I'm going completely mad, 100% mad. What is going on? It's your favorite friendly French mad or something. Oh my god, but I'm doing the queue right now, and it's a really, really repetitive process. Repetitive. You get what I mean? It's repetitive. Repetitive. That's maybe a good pronunciation. Oh my god, what am I doing? What is going on, Jan? What are you doing? Anyway, focus back on the thing. I'm using ash trees and beech trees because they're pretty small, and that's why they don't really turn your attention away from what is important. For example, the simple park signs and the queue line and the station building. And also, something that you want to think about if you're doing a realistic park is access for handicapped people. Usually this kind of access is around the exit, so yeah, try to think about it and try to make it fit the aesthetic of your park. For me it was with the wood right there. And you not only have to think about the exit, but also about the entrance, because it's gonna be the portal to your attraction, to the queue. Yes, of course, not the attraction right away, but still you have to keep in mind that it has to fit within your scenery theming around the park or around the area you have the entrance in. And same thing with the control booth, for example. You have this base white looking thing, and it's not really pretty, it's not always fitting to have the white control booth thing. So that's why I wanted to wrap it up with planks and, make it look somewhat riggedy. Is that the word? Am I using the word right? Does riggedy works? It's a fun word. Riggedy. And it what is going on? Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, because it's an open control booth, I wanted to put a little fence on the side so people don't go in there. And right now you just seen the name for our junior coaster, which is Caterpillar. Of course, it's a simple park, so we have to keep things simple, and this looks like a caterpillar. Also, yes, you've guessed it, this is the water refiller from Parc Ciel Bleu, because of course this design was so great that I had to reuse it. It's such a great design, I'm so proud of it. It's still available in the workshop, and I've put it there because I needed to fill the space, and people were complaining that they couldn't drink when I did simulations of the park. So yeah, you're welcome, peeps. Anyway, yes, I have also tried to make balloons around the Becky's balloons, and custom doors and custom windows and everything, and also this little pump to, you know, blow some air inside the balloons, and also add animatronics where people can go or behind the turnstiles to welcome people. And yes, those are realistic touches and even lighting, and we can tell that we are in the finishing touches around the area of Caterpillar right now, because well, we're doing, you know, the small details, the little slight details with lighting and everything, and you'll see me do ambient lighting around the coaster with the blue thing for the water pond and also the green lighting for the coaster itself. You know, because lighting is not only to make you see things in the dark, it's also to embellish things, and that's why lighting is very, very, very important. So is music and sounds around your park, actually. But with that said, we're already at the end of the Speedbuild. Let's go back to the entrance of Simple Park. Remember what I just said about ambience and sounds and everything? Yeah, you can hear it right now. That's literally why I wanted to have the coaster in front of the entrance, because, you know, right as you enter the park, you can hear the birds whistling and also the banjo tune rising, and then you have this coaster and you hear the sounds, the people screaming or the kids screaming, and you feel like you're in a theme park. And I'm just getting excited because recreating this feel is not really hard, you know. It's, again, theming is a feeling, I can't stress that enough. It's feeling that you're immersed inside a theme park as a guest, even though you don't really have this many things to see in Simple Park right now. I still feel like, you know, Caterpillar and Becky's balloons and the water refiller and the entrance is having a unity and making me feel like I'm truly immersed inside Simple Park, and that's the best feeling, you know, to be in a video game and feel like you're in a theme park. And yeah, Planet Coaster is such a wonderful game, isn't it? So yes, we have this little storage room for the staff and the balloons and everything, and also our return of the legendary water refiller. I love the water refiller. It's such a good design, and I felt like it could really work inside Simple Park. I try making it different in the upcoming episodes, but in the end I'm just keeping it as is because, well, the water refiller is so cool. And also Becky's balloons. As I told you, I wanted to make my own shop and not have the really big popping colors of the usual Looney Balloons shop. So that's why I covered everything in wood to make, well, everything seem real. Even there is a door which matches with the outside door and a window which matches with the outside window. Because, well, that's pretty important to me, to have something that feels coherent, you know, that feels again like a unity. Even the access ramp, you know, for the handicapped people, it's such a small touch. It's maybe, what, 10 pieces, but it's it's making your area feel alive and real, and immersing your visitors from the workshop inside your park. And same thing with Caterpillar, you know, you're queuing, not really queuing because you can technically skip the line in as a visitor, as a player inside the game, but you can see this coaster passing by because it's so compact, and I love everything about this coaster. And I've been patting myself on the back since I started talking about the park again, but you know, I'm just way too invested and way too excited about what I do, and that's a good thing. When you're happy about what you create in Planco, everything makes sense, and you just have the biggest smile on your face. Yeah, Caterpillar and Simple Park are really cool, even down to this little detail, you know, with the little sequencer and the cables coming out and into the station. This is so small but really important for your park to feel real and feel coherent. But yes, we took a day ride on Caterpillar the other day, so let's take a night ride on Caterpillar right now. Thanks for watching this third episode of Building a Simple Park. I love doing those, so please leave a like or leave a comment if you like those as well, or maybe if you're new around here, maybe please subscribe and become a baguette with all of my other baguettes. We love baguettes here. So yeah, thank you for being here. This has been Yann, your favorite friendly Frenchman, and I'll see you around. À bientôt!